there and welcome to the program. Well, power dialectics are dynamic. It had been a ping-pong game for more than a century between the hard power, the argument of force, that is the use of guns, and the force of argument, that is diplomacy. From the 1990s, the focus of world power dynamics shifted from hard to soft power, giving prominence to the media, technology, and sports. Yes, sports go around the world and ask how Cameroon has fared in the power space. I mean, hard power space. I bet you will be a stranger to your respondents. Conversely, in the comfort of your room, universal voices echo and the trumpets resound about the fame of Cameroon as a nation and Cameroonians as individuals. For football in particular, Cameroon is on a pedestal. It is the one unquestionable uniting force of our country. Football has helped us sail through troubled waters. Think of the 1990s, early 2000s, and this period when our country, our unity, our integrity, our sovereignty is questioned by some dissenting voices. Therefore, football and politics are intrinsically linked, and no one should joke with it, not at this time. This is happening at the time Parliament, during the closing of the March session, addressed the secret subject of power transition and parliamentary action. What is the relationship between parliamentarians? What is it, that relationship that parliamentarians have with their bases? Do they report back to their electors? Is our focus today on Press R. And to talk about these two subjects, one as a teaser and the other as our focus, we have Honorable Nestor Fru Manjo, who is a member of Parliament. He is the member of the National Assembly. We are pleased to have you on Press R set this day, Honorable. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Killian. The pleasure is mine to be able to address the Cameroonian people on our activities. Thank you.
It's always our pleasure to have you. Each time we stretch our hand, you're always there. You receive it and you are present. We are so pleased to always have you. We have another honorable of his own category, Honorable Coltem Sambit Princewill. He is a youth parliamentarian. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Killian. I'm very happy to be here, to be able to talk to the Cameroonian people, and happy Sunday to all the televiewers of CRTV. I think that this is the best time and the best avenue to be able to discuss these matters that are actually touching the country, especially at this particular period of time. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You are a youth parliamentarian. What do youth parliamentarians do?
Thank you very much. Luckily enough, I want to extend my greetings to the Honorable here, the senior parliamentarian. I'm a youth parliamentarian for the Gokutunja Balikumba Special Constituency. And as a young parliamentarian, we were able to relate or diffuse the same activities like the senior parliamentarians do, but in a more conservative way. As a young parliamentarian, I should be able to deliver to my constituency, the people of my constituency.
What?
Yes, like I'm coming to the stage to be able to solve some problems that come along. For example, recently I'm carrying out a campaign that has to do with facilitating the acquisition of birth certificates for young people below the age of 15 in my constituency. Luckily enough, the Minister of Minister Delegate.
We got what you are doing. For example, you are going to explain more of those things as the program rolls on. We just wanted to know, viewers to know what young parliamentarians do.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about the fact that you are there first of all to learn from the senior parliamentarian. I think that is where the baseline is. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to talk more about what you are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Dr. Isidore Kwakom. He is a philosopher, and on this plateau, on this set, he is a civil society actor. You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Gillian. I'm naturally happy to be here to give in my own quota of contribution as part of nation building. I must extend greeting and appreciation to Honorable Fru for seeing him for the first time on studio and sharing the story with him, and my co-panelists, the young parliamentarian, for the good job that they are doing. Kudos.
Thank you very much. We have one other person on the set who is on his way coming. Moa Patrick is desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. We hope to have him on set as soon as he comes in. But before he comes in, we're going to set the program. Ruling with press review, Yoti Kalele Songe read the press for us, and this is the review she put together for Press Hour.
Newspaper editions of the week captured members of the Constitutional Council urged to serve with impartiality at the oath-taking ceremony, a story published on the Guardian Post. In the same vein, the Post lays emphasis on the 11 Constitutional Council members charged to earn the fullest mark of confidence. To the Horizon, it is a mandate renewed, whilst the UDP chairman is stating on the same newspaper that the calls for an anticipated presidential election is a sinister plot to induce President Biya into error. About the same time, the Guardian Post reveals that the Grand North is fed up with the Biya regime. Meanwhile, the infighting within the PCRN is projected, a story the Guardian Post recounts in detail, underlining that the founding president Robert Kona and the national president Cabral Libi have expelled each other from the party, whereas the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Kavayege Jibril, at the closing of the March session, spared no words in castigating advocates of political transition and alliances. What piques the interest of municipal updates is boosting the political engagement of citizens as stakeholders dissect the alarming voter apathy. The papers also touched on issues like CDC's banana export hitting the second lowest in a year, amid market struggles as the corporation goes on the offensive against those encroaching on their land. Some print media organs also highlighted the 250 million CFA francs loan to complete the Kumba City grandstand, before news on the appointment of a new Indomitable Lions coach hit newspaper stands like a tsunami. Municipal Updates announces that the Belgian Marc Brice is the new coach of the Indomitable Lions, while Cameroon Tribune reports on a controversy around the new staff of Lions. The Median goes further, indicating that its office has rejected the minister's decision, evoking blatant illegality, and the Horizon cues in that Fekefoot is disputing the government's appointments. So too, the Post concurs. The Guardian Post, on its part, informs the readership that it's a fresh Cold War between Fekefoot and the government.
That was the press review for Press Hour, done for us by Yoti Kalele Songe. Will permit me to introduce, as I promised, Moa Patrick, who we were told he was on his way, and right now he is here with us on the set. Moa Patrick, desk editor, the Guardian Post newspaper, the one daily English-speaking English language newspaper in Cameroon. You're welcome to
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Killian. It's always my pleasure to be here. It's been quite a while, I think.
Yes, I don't think quite a while as such. I was with you on this set not very long ago. I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever the case, you are here. Patrick, you followed the press review together with us, and as a pressman, one who represents the press here on the set, what do you think we could pick out and talk about?
I think what has been animating public debate of recent is the appointment of the lead trainer for the national selection, the Indomitable Lions. There's been some controversy around the selection process. Of course, I'm not informing you that Fekefoot has since distanced himself from the entire process, saying that they were never consulted and that the coach, according to them, has been declared persona non grata. And even yesterday, just as an update, Fekefoot made an official outing following the executive committee meeting held in Yaoundé, they have given the president 72 hours, that's 3 days, to produce or to make proposals to government through the Ministry of Sport for the person who should actually replace Rigobert Song, whose contract was never reviewed in February this year.
Now, you've talked about Rigobert Song. Who informed Rigobert Song when his contract came to the end at the end of February? I think that was February 28th. Was it Fecafoot or was it government?
That's a tricky one, Killian, and I know exactly where you're heading to. One thing is clear, football is not solely managed by Fecafoot, though they are actually the supreme body when it comes to the management of football. But you know, the process of getting a coach and the process of negotiating maybe the pay package for the coach actually involves the Minister of Sport, that is government, because government that pays the coach. So it is been normal. Fecafoot is not saying that government should stay off the entire process. They are only saying that the law should be respected. That is to say that as a body in charge of football management, they should be able to participate actively in the process, because Fecafoot is actually the technical partner. Government is not. This point should be made clear. Government is not. But Fecafoot actually has the mandate to do the selection and then propose to government. And that is what they were doing, because a leaked document has been making the rounds on social media, dated, I think, March 15 or so, thereabout, in which Fecafoot, through its president, and its office, made certain proposals. With top names like Hervé Renard on the list and the immediate past coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria on the list.
Let us also get this point very clear. Fecafoot is a technical partner.
Yeah.
Government is the supervisory authority.
Yeah.
Now, why I ask that question is because when the same authority notified Rigobert Song, there was just no complaint from Fecafoot. We mean that Fecafoot accepted that government has that right to notify the Rigobert Song, who accepted that your term of office and all the other people.
Of course, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
so that is exactly the point. When we are making it clear,
I agree with you. Fecafoot's position on this issue has been very clear. They are not saying that government has no role or responsibility over the selection of the coach, but they are saying that what government has done through the Minister of Sport, they have single-handedly hired a coach for the national team without the consent or without any support or any involvement of Fecafoot, which of course normally ought to have been involved, like as it has always happened in the past. There's nothing new. It is true that there has always been these differences between the Minister of Sport and the President of Fecafoot, which is actually now playing on.
No, we'll not get into that.
But we have to get into that if we really have to trace where the problem is coming from.
We'll get into that later, but for now we're talking about the issues, their contract. Dr. Isidore, this is what we have to understand as Cameroonians. Patrick says it was single-handedly, but some of the releases that we've had from the ministry actually shows that Fecafoot did some proposals of 3 candidates. And the 3 candidates, the lowest in terms of salary is 82 million CFA francs. No coach so far since we started playing in this country has had that amount. Then the highest is 130, that about million CFA francs. And the argument that the supervisory authority, the ministry, the government, the state, I should say, gave is, given the context, all of us know we cannot hire a coach for the Lions that will receive this much amount of money when we have alternative cases. That's why we know that you agree that Fecafoot proposed. It is not single-handedly. That the proposal was not considered is something else. I think that is, we should move the debate forward.
I agree with government due to the precarious economic situation we are experiencing that we shouldn't spend money in such a manner. But the problem here is, did the government, through the Minister of Sport, respect the text in their disposition? No. Because you
Which
see,
text? We have several
the text, or the 2014 text that gave the powers,
Management of national
the national team to Feka Food in collaboration with the minister. You asked a question here tomorrow that when Rigobert Song was given a letter to terminate his contract.
No,
there was no
to
news.
Signa, the end of his contract.
The end of his contract.
Yes.
There was no noise. This was simple because Feka Food, in collaboration with the ministry, unanimously agreed to appoint Song, and they knew that his contract would come to an end on this time. So the person that was paying the coach, who happens to be the government and the Minister of Sport, have the right to tell him that your contract has come to an end, and Feka Food was aware ahead of time. So you see, if Eto'o, as the president of Feka Food, propose a list of coaches to the minister or to the government and they reject it, it is normal. But it was good for the government to come back to them to make a review that what you are giving to us is unacceptable due to the prices or the amount of salary to be paid to these people because the precarious economic crisis we are experiencing. Make a review and come back to us. But the minister never did so. He did it with a lot of hubris and pride by just, making a kind of a degree to impose onto Feka Food, and then implicating the head of state by saying that the head of state said it in his speech that the Minister of Sport, the government through the Minister of Sport should regulate and manage football issue. It is true, but the head of state didn't say that.
If you say it's true, then you are contradicting.
No, I'm coming.
The head of state actually instructed the government, as you rightly say, through the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, to handle a problem which was already a crisis situation. Remember that back from Cote d'Ivoire, the debacle that the Lions had was displeasing to every Cameroonian. If you say it was not, in terms of managing that team completely, then I will not be part of that argument.
Yes, it was a failure,
So
not only to Feka Food, because the Minister of Sport was equally involved in the management of the team.
Of course, the minister was not in the field, was not part of the coach. We saw Feka Food president, we saw the coach on the field, in the dressing room. The minister never got there to tell players what to do, and we know the saga. Now, let us move the debate to the other angle. Honorable Nestos Manju, he talked about the government is the person, the moral person, paying the coach and the other members of that technical team. I don't know your position, but the government should have a say on the person who is to be selected, given that he knows exactly how much and where to take the money to pay.
The supreme interest of the Cameroonian people must be preserved. And the guarantor of that supreme interest of the Cameroonian people is the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya. Minister Narcisse Mwele Kombi acted under the aegis and with the accord of the presidency. It's the presidency that gave an accord on the proposals that Minister Narcisse Mwele Kombi finally transcribed into a decision that was recruiting, or that is appointing Mark Brace as the head coach of the national team. What we have to understand is that irrespective of our given interests and rights and privileges, your rights end where that of another person begins, just like your duty begins where the rights of another person ends. Feka Food, yes, may want to say, given the decree, 2014 decree, they have some prerogatives, yes. Given the collaboration equally, after the decree of 2014, they signed a convention with MINSEP on the basis of the decree. That convention, which permitted the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education, where need be, to take such moves. And we've had cases of coaches that were proposed and brought in and appointed by the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education. We had cases of Conceição, even Rigobert Song. But in order to appoint them as coaches, you need the authorization of the guarantor of our rights and freedoms and of the interests, the supreme interests of the Cameroonian people, who is the head of state. And that was sought, and his accord was granted. So all trivialities have to fall apart. We have to work now to see that the interest of the Cameroonian people is preserved. A coach has been appointed. Keep aside our personal egos, keep aside our personal interests. Let's work together as a team. Fecafoot and MINSEP should work together now as a team to see that the Cameroonian people who have been starved, who have been deprived of this glory and of this pride of the indomitable lions, winning matches, should regain such confidence, should rebuild that steam of patriotism and to fight, and let us move Cameroonian football forward.
Thank you very much. It could not be better said. Yes, Honorable Colton, you've listened to the three participants, panelists, your own word on this subject.
Thank you very much, Mr. Killian. Actually, I've listened to them keenly, and when we look at the matter at hand, we realize that the authorities have been playing the ping pong on the law and also on the high instruction of the head of state. But now, if they have been playing this on the law, I want to look at it from the perspective of the spirit of the law. Because when we talk about the spirit of the law, we want to look at the intricacies. And in that, you want to realize, you want to understand that in the spirit of the law, you understand the minister actually cited the convention that the Fecafoot, that the state had with the Fecafoot, which gave them that ground to be able to appoint or contract a coach at the helm of the Indomitable Lions or the men's football. From that perspective, you realize that in the spirit of the law, if they have to do that, then there is they need to have some sort of collaboration in able to work together. And if you want to look at it from that angle of collaboration, you want to ask yourself, at the time where the minister signed the decree or contracted a new coach, was the Fecafoot actually informed about that? At the time, Fecafoot actually proposed their own persons who were supposed to be at the helm.
I think we are not asking those questions because we are saying Fecafoot proposed 3 names. And the minister in his own release said because they were so exorbitant, they got some other person according to the financial power dispositions of the state. So we are no longer asking those questions. Probably the question will not be whether Fecafoot was involved or not because they proposed 3 names. Yes. So the question is, are they angry one of their names was not taken? Yes, but another name was taken by the state. By the state.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I continue from there?
Let us move on.
Yeah.
Now the question we will answer now is: this is the situation. In the interest of the state, I think it should not be given 72 hours declaring someone non grata for a new person. It is as Honorable Nestus has said, see how they should work together. Because this fight doesn't help football, it doesn't help Cameroon, it doesn't help us in any way. More action has been taken. So that is, I want to see how we move on these lines.
Yes, I think that you have rightly put it. Of course, it is for the interest of football that these two prominent personalities should, by every understanding, they are condemned to work together. Because their differences is actually, of course, affecting the smooth running of football in this country. Like the honorable gentleman said, for a very long time, we have not been able to celebrate victory. The once powerful Indomitable Lions has become almost a shadow of itself, and this is partly because of management blunders here and there. Of course, the new coach has come. Imagine Fecafoot stepping aside or developing clear feet towards a new coach, of course, it's going to affect the running of football in the country, and I think it's not really a good precedent. There is every need for these people to come together, sit on the same table, talk issues out, and ensure that, of course, that there should be that collaborative platform for the Ministry of Sport, because they are condemned to work together. The FECAFOOT, is true that FECAFOOT is an independent structure. It's not a department under the Ministry of Sport. It's an affiliate of the International Federation, as FIFA.
An association in Cameroon.
Of course.
Governed by the laws,
of course,
liberty
they
laws
don't
of
operate,
1990 of Cameroon.
They don't operate in the vacuum. They
Yes.
operate within states, but at the level of functioning, they enjoy some level of independence, because they are actually affiliated structures of a global movement which doesn't pay allegiance to any state in the world.
Yes, just the last word on this, and then we'll move forward.
Yes, I think that there must be team spirit between the two institutions, given that if you care, you bring in Pep Guardiola, Mourinho to come and manage the national team. When there is no team spirit, the future of football in Cameroon remains gloomy.
Thank you very much. And we have had some head coaches before who came, and they were little known around the world, and most of them, they are the ones who propelled Cameroon.
Yeah, we should not encourage that.
We are not
for individuals who have not proven.
We are not saying that, and we are also saying that should be an argument.
It looks like Cameroon is a testing ground.
Anyway, it's an argument for another day, like you have said. Because
Yes,
when I look at the report card of McBreeze, of course, it's not quite impressive. For somebody who has not coached even a top club, maybe a Division 1 club in the Belgian league. Of course, the Belgian league is among the least in terms of.
No, in his country, I think was in 2002 or 2001. He was the best.
I'm saying that the Belgian league is nothing to write. There's nothing to write home about as far as the Belgian league is concerned. It's eight in Europe.
The Cameroonian league that is.
No, we are not comparing with the Cameroonian league, but we are saying that if we are going for somebody, we should go for an individual who has proven a track record in terms of what he has been able to do, because his coach is just as good as his last match.
I think
Can I say something here?
And that would be the last on this topic.
Cameroon, we are getting into.
Maybe let him just 1 minute, then you conclude.
Okay, thank you. The big question most Cameroonians are asking, whether FECAFOOT or MINTEP, why not the Cameroonian? Because when you look at the list of that they publish, we didn't see Cameroonians among us to succeed Ringo.
No, that's another topic.
Project.
We want to move forward. You are bringing us backwards.
Yes.
That's why.
Maybe that should be
it's
something
okay.
to
Bahanak, Rigobert Song was a Cameroonian. So that argument is no longer
Cameroon is going
valid.
to competitions as from June, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
and we have to get our boots ready for June, and so we need a coach and we need the team spirit to propel us. What we should understand as Cameroonians is that the future of this country is upon us, and what Eto'o should understand, the president of FECAFOOT, is that every Cameroonian is looking up to him to see how he can bring the wealth of experience that he has gathered from Europe, the wealth of experience that he has gathered from the world, in order to bring it on the table and help the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education for us to have
give him a free hand.
credible.
They should give him a free hand.
It is not about free hand. When you are working for your country, it is not whether you have a good hand or a free hand.
There is no federation. If there is no nation, if there is no state,
when they want to commit that,
there will be no
they'll say that
federation.
from the high instruction of the head of state. And then when they accomplish it, they say we thank the head of state.
Doctor, let me stop you on that generalization. Because what you are saying is a general statement.
No, the Minister of Sport acted on the instruction of the head of state.
Then why are you saying he?
And that is why I'm saying that.
Was he instructed or not?
He was instructed,
So,
but he was not instructed to ignore the laws of FECAFOOT.
Anyway, he was instructed according to the document that we saw.
He was instructed in front
Not
of
to
all
ignore
Cameroonians.
that they should work as a team for the interest of the state, not to work as an individual and ignore the technical things of FECAFOOT.
No.
Because you have already done his work, and the next thing that we thank the head of state after accomplishing what we have done.
No, please.
No.
Don't put that to question.
There is a difference between instruction and an accord.
Yes, it was an instruction.
It wasn't an instruction, it was an okay.
Okay.
So it was a proposal made. and the presidency okayed the proposal.
He made the proposal without the consultation of the technical desk.
You can't
but
say
when
that.
the Fecafoot made a proposal, it went directly to the Minister of Sport to show the humility Fecafoot had for the minister. But now, when the minister wanted to take his own decision, he never consulted the technical desk, which is Fecafoot, and then used the head of state as an umbrella.
No.
So that is where my argument
No,
is.
you probably have not read all the releases. We are saying that the minister released one saying these are the proposals of it. You cannot say that again. We are out of that topic, please. We are going to move. We are going to move into the new.
Can you recruit somebody without having the means to pay the person?
We must have the ministry principle.
No, we have
But
gone past that.
Sort of consensus.
Yes.
No, we have gone past that. One word, if there is a problem, is because there was poor management of that team, and it was said. So it was already a kind of crisis situation. Solving a crisis. We cannot come here today and
You solve a crisis by creating another crisis.
No, not crisis.
Even in the crisis situation we're experiencing, the Minister of Sport was involved, given that he appointed a coach. And so, therefore,
please.
if the coach fails, it means that it was a team spirit between
want
Fecafoot and the ministry.
If you want us to go into the nitty-gritties, we all watch that competition together. And we watch how there was interference in the actions of that coach. The coach didn't actually act on his own. If you watch Cameroonians and say what I'm saying is not true, then I will hands off on this. So we are aware that this is what happened, and to correct such a thing, in a call, as Honorable is saying, was given. I will even say instructions were given for the situation to be handled. So, okay, now, out of that topic, we are going to move on to what happened in March. March in Cameroon is the first session of Parliament, and it's an elective session of Parliament. It ended last week with some very important pronouncements by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Kavayege Jibril. And at the end of his speech, he recommended that members of Parliament, especially of the National Assembly, should report back to their constituencies. We are asking the question, what is the link? Are they actually representing their people? Do they go back to report to their people? What's the relationship they have with their people? Let us first of all watch the end and pronouncements of the end of that session and pronouncements of the Honorable Kavayege Jibril in this report by Esther Kima, the permanent correspondent of CRTV to the National Assembly.
The political alliances and transitions in the country that are hitting the waves were core in the House Speaker's address as he took the pulse of the political landscape. Though considered necessary, given preparations for upcoming elections, the Right Honourable Kavayege Jibril warned against activism that could thwart peace and tranquility.
Our country's economy has been diversified and is characterized by vitality and resilience, plus an electoral process that is one of the best regulated in Africa and that engenders free and fair elections.
While urging the lawmakers to be on the watch for illusion peddlers, the evolution of the construction work on the new National Assembly edifice, financed by the People's Republic of China, was highlighted.
The head of state has lent his support to the project to construct the new National Assembly complex. He has ordered the disbursement of close to 1,900,000 CFA francs to our House chamber.
Cameroon's parliament will be hosting the Parliamentary Assembly of La Francophonie Africa region from May 28 to 29 with support funding from the head of states. As the legislators leave for their constituencies, they are enjoined to be crusaders of development.
Crusaders of Development, Esther, we stay with you. We're going to also watch what some of those members of the National Assembly said in reaction to this session, very important session, in which so very important pronouncements were made.
One which principally witnessed the arrival of one new secretary and the re-election of all incumbents of the Permanent Bureau.
It wasn't easy, and I want to use this medium to show gratitude, first of all, to my party, the CPDM party, and to my colleagues who gave me that renewed confidence.
Void of government bills and drills with the executive, the session was unfulfilling for some.
If we took a lot of time to have our bureau, after this bureau, we should be going to activity, intensive activity. We didn't do it.
Network members, however, sought to advance private entrepreneurship.
The members are supposed to create clusters so that these young people be informed, be trained to create a business in their circumstances.
The power transition theory, talked about in the lead to the presidential and legislative polls, is a strong preoccupation.
The transition is unavoidable. I am very happy to have learned from the mouth of the Speaker of the National Assembly that we have to continue doing our work, and that what we are doing is exactly what they are afraid of.
All the state institutions are functioning, so there is no need for a political transition. Political leadership is very important, and when you make wrong choices as far as political leadership are concerned, it's very clear that it is going to retard the development.
This and other public interest concerns will definitely be tabled when the lawmakers sit through the second ordinary session in June.
Yes, we'll look forward to the June session, the ordinary session in June. That is the second. The last one comes in November, the budgetary session. But between the March and the June and November sessions, what do parliamentarians do? What do they do? Do they go back and report like the Honorable Kabayege Jibri, Speaker of the National Assembly? Why should he be reminding parliamentarians all the time? Go back and report parliamentary activities to your constituencies. Now, all of us, we are what we are, professionals in whatever we do, but we are citizens of Cameroon. If we were to ask you, Dr. first and Patrick second, Dr. Isidore first and Patrick second, what will you give as a balance sheet or as a mark to the parliamentarians from your constituencies? And since you have a wider knowledge as a reporter and as a doctor of philosophy, parliamentarians do in terms of reporting back to Cameroonians, particularly to their constituencies?
Killian, I think that I doubt if parliamentarians always report back to their constituency or to the electorate what they were elected for. If the Speaker of the National Assembly keep on reminding them, it's already a sign to tell you that parliamentarians have failed. Failed in the sense that once they are elected into a post of responsibility, they know that they are representing the constituency, they are their ears, their eyes, and their mouth. But once they go to the parliament, they believe that the parliament is like a plantation where the occupants just need to harvest and then sit comfortably to enjoy. None of them has ever gone back to report to their electorate.
Well, none of them.
Anyway, some of them have never gone back.
Yes.
Let me not generalize. And whenever I want to see parliamentarians going back to their constituency, know that elections are coming closer, or there is a kind of celebration where they need to go and showcase their prestige, their power, and how much they have acquired in the National Assembly. 2 weeks ago, they were celebrating the 39th anniversary of CBDM. And my question was, I saw in my constituency parliamentarians going back to celebrate. Meanwhile, they virtually live in cities, in hotels, in other areas of the town. Their constitution are virtually abandoned. Bad road, bad governance, no water supply, no electricity. They report nothing to the people, and they come and celebrate. And my question was, what were they celebrating? Failure? Or instead of organizing a national day for mourning for having failed their electorate, they go back to provoke them to show that they were celebrating 39th anniversary. Meanwhile, they have never reported anything to the electorate. So I think that it's a shame. Let some of these parliamentarians wake up from slumber and know that once they are elected, they are not elected to take care of themselves. They should know that their constituency need them. You cannot go to my constituency, there are no roads, Virtually, as a student, when I was coming up to the Bamenda Road, we used to pay 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. Killian, believe me that to leave now from Bamenda to Womb, there is no car going to Womb. We go to Womb through a bike. And as
is it the fault of the parliamentary?
It is the fault of the parliamentary because they don't lobby for road to be given. As a parliamentary, we are giving you our project that go and lobby for road because we don't have road. And now, when you come and lobby for your stomach, and then you come back to provoke us, meanwhile, to go down now to Womb, Killian, you will not take a car, you take by the bike 20,000 francs as a single person on a bike. If you are two of you, 30,000 francs. Should I applaud that parliamentary reporting back to us? No. It is a shameful thing.
We'll get you, there is no shame in it. Your case is particular because you live in an area where there is crisis. Let me inform you that between now and I think 1 or 2 months, you will hear and you will get it from the media that they call it parliamentary tour. And you have groups of parliamentarians from some divisions, and then sometimes at regional levels, they go, they tour, they give to their constituents exactly what was discussed, they listen to them. So if there are particular cases, we accept, but we cannot say it's a shame.
Let me say, they are tour. Like last year, Honorable bear with me that last time they even had a meeting and the parliamentarians said that the Northwest parliamentarians said they don't have posts of responsibility in the National Assembly, which means that they were looking for lucrative positions so that they can be able to be more responsible for their stomach. When they meet with that thought, is it this year that they were elected into a post of, into parliament? No, they have been there for years. Whenever they meet with a parliamentary thought, what comes out of it is more of theory than practical.
Well, that also will look like it's an overstatement because only yesterday I received some messages from Honorable Oliver that he was donating things to people in his constituency.
Elections are coming closer.
The other one in Donga Mantum, the other time I saw him distributing.
Elections are coming closer, so they won't do that.
I'm saying, elections or no elections, we should at least point some of these things out and say, well, maybe it is not enough. That is not what we expect from them. We cannot say it's a shame because so many of them do that. The other day also, I was with Honorable Njume Peter, who went to his constituency, Kondo Titi, and gave some material to his people, Itonge. Ngale, who also went to the Bakassi area. No, I'm calling names, and I'll call these people and ask whether
because you are no longer moderating the panel, you are not holding briefs for government.
I don't
know why you invited us here.
We are giving facts to at least say that when you are speaking, you should avoid making.
I have said in some cases, and I pointed the case of my constituency.
Party wants to speak. It is actually your turn to speak. Okay. Patrick, you can go on.
Yes, but I advise that you should stop bullying us on this platform because
we
will say the things that are not comfortable to your ears.
No,
you just get into start bullying.
Like I'm giving facts.
No, but what he has been saying are factual issues too. Anyway, far from that, I think I want to move a little bit from what the Honourable Speaker of the National Assembly said with regards to parliamentarians going back to their constituencies to report. I don't know, whatever that means anyway. But I think that the primary responsibility of members of parliament is to make laws and raise important and crucial debates in parliament that can improve the living conditions of the people they claim to represent in parliament. But I think that our parliament has fallen short of that. What we see happen in the National Assembly, in the Senate, leaves much to be desired. And I think that our parliamentarians really need to sit up because it is not just enough to, like you just cited, some parliamentarians who recently went donating to their constituent, but it should be more about taking initiative that can improve the lives of their constituents for sustainable for the sustainable future, other than just going around to spray some few items from time to time. If you ask me, are the members of parliamentarian representative enough of the people they are sent to parliament to represent? I tell you, it's a big no, because like he was just saying, we have discovered that the moment these guys are elected and they get to parliament, they become contractors. They spend more time in the corridors of the Ministry of Public Contracts, Public Works, chasing documents for contracts, and rather lobbying for projects that can improve the welfare of the citizenry. And like he said, it's of course not the responsibility of a parliamentarian to, for example, tar the road maybe from Bamenda to Batibo or to Mbengui or to Kolofata or wherever, but they have the role to lobby, to speak to, because they are the voice of the people they represent. You know, it beats my imagination that with all what is going on in the Northwest and Southwest, for example, a real debate has never been raised in Parliament on the precarious situation of the people of the Northwest and Southwest. The debate has never been raised on that. Instead, you see them, it's either they're going to be complaining that, oh, we have been left out of the bureau. It's like they are there in Parliament to represent themselves. Because, why am I saying this? What is happening now, for example, like in the Northwest and Southwest, there are so many parliamentarians that we have here at the National Assembly and in Senate who could have ever scored even 10% in terms of the vote cast. But because of the situation, the chaos in the Northwest and Southwest, some of them in Parliament, and they really do not feel the responsibility to get back to the people, because, of course, I want to say that maybe they have legality, but most of them don't have legitimacy because they do not have the mandate of the people. Well, if you look at the elections of 2020, it was a farce in terms of voter turnout and all of that. In a constituency where you are expecting 26,000 people to take to the polls, you had maybe 1,500 people voting a member of parliament to come and represent who? So they don't even have the mandate of the people, and the people virtually no excuse.
We have Honorable is going to respond.
Yeah, he's going to respond. But what I'm saying is that,
let me ask you this question, Patrick. You know, like I know, we can name so many of them who were daring members of parliament from upper house, that Senate, and then the lower house, National Assembly, who were daring. And then they were going up there and they were kidnapped and they went through the ordeal that we imagine, because only they can feel the thing on their flesh, what they went through. So are you encouraging them to go and get kidnapped?
No, that's not what. Far from that.
So how do you want them to actually walk the way?
They should also resign here from collecting money on behalf of people instead of run away from being kidnapped. Let us solve the problem.
Resign. I'm telling you that each time they have the opportunity, like the cases we're citing, they go up and they do things. They go down and they do things.
But they don't raise the worries of the people in the National Assembly. What is going on in Norway and South? They have never raised it. I've never heard about the Anglophone crisis in the Assembly.
Let me just briefly respond. You asked a question. Yes, no one is encouraging anybody to be kidnapped or whatever. But what we are saying is that even if you are not going on the ground on a regular basis because of security concerns, you should be able to raise the plight of your people each time you have the opportunity. Lobby for them. You must not be there. It's true that when they have their anniversary, like the recent 39th anniversary, most of them were airlifted from Bamenda to the divisions.
They were airlifted and protected.
And back to Bamenda after the celebration. But we are saying that how often do we see them seizing the floor at the National Assembly to raise important issues that should be open to debate? For example, the socio-economic situation of those on the ground, the people they represent. How often do they carry the plight of their people? Oh, we don't have roads here, we don't have schools here, we don't have. At the end of the day, like we have said, they spend time chasing
contracts and businesses
in ministries instead of going for projects that can improve the welfare of the people.
We have had one, two, three cases in Parliament when it was actually a kind of hold up by members of opposition political parties raising the same problem you say they have never talked about, at least stopping action in the National Assembly. I watched that, and I know you watched it. And I know you watched that. It was a kind of even hold up.
If I may ask, Killian, is it only the problem of the Northwest and Southwest parliamentarians? It is a problem of Cameroon, and it was supposed to be raised in the National Assembly for general interest.
We agree. We are talking about the hemicycle. They did what I'm talking about in the hemicycle. So, as much as you raise those points, you should accept that it's not like they've never done anything, because they have staged a hold up, as I'm talking about, in Parliament for some of these things. You also even know the late Kemende, what he did in the Senate before he died. So those are palpable examples of daring members of Parliament who have done it.
How many supported Kemende in his strike?
No. The point is that you are raising points. You should not behave as there has not been anything. Now, we are going to give room now to Honorable Nestor Fru Manju. I'm not going to stop you. You have so many accusations.
accusations.
Thank you very much, Kilen, Moi, and Isidore, Doctor. You guys have, with due respect, expressed a lot of worries and concerns about the functions of the parliamentarian and your expectations of your various elected officials who are parliamentarians. It's fortunate that you have the parliamentarians, that's members of the National Assembly, who benefit from your direct express will expressed through elections to have them represent you. And it's the pride we carry along with us because we represent you. We represent you in every action.
And there are only 3 categories of people who have direct vote of the people, mandate of the people of Cameroon: municipal councillors, members of the National Assembly, and the President of the Republic.
Thank you very much. And so we represent your express will to speak on your behalf. And we do speak on your behalf. It's not every action that is brought to the limelight that you will see, because what you expect are results. What goes under the table, you may not know. How you said we lobby. Lobbying is a process, my brothers.
For a whole mandate.
The Cameroonian people, they expect us to lobby for them, and we do that. We lobby and we get the results. The government bench is very cooperative. The parliamentarian's function is he acts as a catalyst for development of an area. That catalyst for development does not mean that he's the one who develops the area, but he ignites development through your proposals. Once the people, they bring a project, you talked about lobbying. I don't know how many projects you've met a parliamentarian and submitted that this is what I think is good for our area, and he has not carried it to the rightful quarters. In each locality, what we should understand is that in each locality, we have local government officials. Those local government officials, which are the municipal councils, they have a council development plan. And they may not find all the resources that they need. And every development falls within this council development plan. And we have to work very closely with them such that the priorities of these councils, we carry them forward, and that is what we lobby to get financing, such that the various areas attain the development standards that they are looking for. You may not see the parliamentarians very much on the forefront, because his function is to enact laws, his function is to control government action, and his function is to represent you.
Now, Honorable, let me ask you this personal, because you are the one representative directly elected by the people of Cameroon. How many times have you had what you call parliamentary tour sessions to meet your people and report to them in your constituency about what happens in Parliament? Because that's what the Speaker was talking about.
We always meet our people. We always meet our people. This is one of the meetings. We always meet our people. Given the circumstances where I come from...
Meeting the people of Bamenda Bali here on this platform.
Yes, of course.
Obviously. If you are a man from Bamenda Bali and watching CRTV, you'll be listening to me now.
They lead you on the ground.
When was the last time you went to your village?
In December.
Okay. I go to my village every time and I meet the people there.
Well, the question is,
so when
the Right Honorable Kavaije Jibril, the Speaker of the National Assembly, what I have known, I have covered, is that members of Parliament, be they Senate or especially National Assembly, they go and call for sessions where they have the councillors you're talking about, some other stakeholders in their place, and they report to them what happened in Parliament. Do you do that?
Obviously, we do that. We do that.
When was the last time you did that?
No, I am previewed to go up to Bamenda within this week.
When was the last time you did that?
The last time I did that was in November last year.
Okay, just between 2 sessions.
Yes, it was in November last year. And this April, I am planning to go to Bamenda, and that will still be done. But the most important thing is not only the councillors that vote for me, it's the population. And how you get your message to the population, that is what is more important. And that's why my colleagues, some of them, the medium they use to talk with the people is they get farm equipment, farm tools. When the people meet, they talk with them and they share. And above all, given the security context in where we come from, we have groups that are in various quarters that we relate with them. But because whatsoever you carry out, if you want to publicize, make it public, then you are inviting the devil.
Yes, we acknowledge that. That's what we're talking about. Now we're going to give room to our young parliamentarian here, the youth parliamentarian, because young could mean that you are in parliament per se. Honorable Kortem Sambit Prince-Will. So what do? You've listened to your senior. What do you do as a youth parliamentarian?
Thank you very much, Mr. Killian. But before to come to your question, what do? I want to point out some few things as per what concerns the parliamentary tour, what is known in French as compte rendu parlementaire. You realize most people don't understand the functions and the roles of the parliamentarian. They need to understand that a parliamentarian is not somebody who has that task of tarring the roads in their village or everything. Like they said before, is to lobby, and the process of lobbying is some sort of...
they have defined what they mean by lobbying. They have defined. Lobbying means that that is for their personal gains. That's what they have said.
No.
That's what they have said.
That is what they say, but that is not what it is. Lobbying is not for your personal gain. It's for the interest of your community, and you can lobby within.
We are saying that they have been lobbying for their personal interest.
Yeah, you said
no. I would for that one. I would definitely say no. Killian, there are lots of accusations. Lobbying, they don't. Parliamentarians don't lobby for their personal interest.
Good.
They don't lobby for contracts. What they do is they represent the interests of the people. And the second thing you have to understand, you talked about Northwest parliamentarians coming together to fight for bureau positions. Yes. That was not meant for public consumption. The actions, a meeting within the confines of the National Assembly.
And you signed that document.
Do you have the document?
I still have.
I saw the document.
Who gave you the document? The document was not meant for you.
It got
to somebody. So please, what we should understand is that if you have, there are quarters. I cannot write my love letter to my wife and you take the love letter and make it public.
No, as a parliamentarian, benefit from the mandate of the people, you cannot say it is private.
They are the people.
It is not private.
You represent, and we have the right to know what is happening.
We have the right to know your activity.
That's just like saying what they are saying is correct.
But with their girlfriend and wife, I will not be concerned. I see the love letter. I will discard it.
No, see, you pointed out. This is what they are saying. That for the lobbying parliamentarians do to actually be for the interest of the public, they have to see the results on the ground. That's what they are saying. If not, then it looks like...
Let the people feel...
not generalize
the impact
because for my constituency, I want to side out. I remember when the penal code was amended, I think that's 2016, Honorable Bami Emmanuel organized a session where a tour where he came to the village and spoke to the people, tried to explain to them what the penal code was all about. That is an example on one side. He opened a radio station in Balikumba that I remember so well. That was a means to get closer to the people. So we should not generalize things in this
case. In areas where there's no electricity that they are unable to provide electricity.
We accept.
How do they follow the radio?
No, they can lobby for the electricity to be.
I'm just saying area where they are not lobbying for electricity. How do they get it?
Of the government.
When people cannot charge phones
you
for
can lobby
weeks.
for it, but you should be able to know the government's plans. The government may plan this year to give electricity to one community.
Yeah, still youth parliamentarian. You're already talking this way.
Thank you.
Now coming back to what we do. Coming back to what we do as young, I do as a young parliamentarian.
The point is that our time is up. We gave you the time. You were talking about other things.
They come into my time.
Yes, it's okay.
Maybe I should write on to one.
No, it's okay. Well, if you look at your time, you see it's already 1:30, and we've consumed all our time.
Yeah,
We don't
but they
even have
consume my
time.
time.
We don't even have time again to go around the table.
No,
Chile,
maybe
my take-home message.
Just to say something.
Yeah.
My take-home message,
Yes.
taken from the honorable member of
30
parliament,
seconds.
people who make laws and control government action. Did you put government to task to put an end to the war in Northwest and Southwest?
Yes.
A lot is being done on
Patrick, 20 seconds.
What do you expect me to say in 20 seconds? It's fine.
Okay, it's fine.
So, I want to say that as a young parliamentarian, we are able to guide our community to assist our senior parliamentarians and also be able to contribute to the development of our community.
Thank you.
I took an example.
No, thank you. We have no
we
time
are
for examples now. Yes.
Okay.
Honorable Nestus.
Yes, I want to say that parliamentarians do a lot of work. We voted so many laws. We've guided, we've voted laws concerning the educational sector, the higher educational sector, the mining code, and a lot about cooperation.
Yes.
So Cameroon is on a good footing, and the parliamentarians are working very hard to make sure that we have peace, stability, and let Cameroon get to emergence by 2035.
Thank you very much. It's on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that we come to the end of today's edition of Press Hour, on which you had Honorable Nestus Fru Manju, who is a member of Parliament, CPDM MP from Mezam. You had our young parliamentarian, Honorable Call Tem, Sambit Prince Will, youth parliamentarian from Kotunjia Division. Moa Patrick is a desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. Dr. Isidore Parcom is civil society. Specifically, he is a doctor of philosophy. Thank you very much. This program will be rebroadcast on Monday at 2:30 p.m. and that is on CRTV Premium, and on CRTV News on Wednesday at 9 p.m. after the news in French. Have a good day, and thanks very much for watching.